Let's go. Going live. Day One Journey, episode 863. Cha-ching, yeah. Today I want to share with you my favorite quote. Well, guess what? I don't know what's my favorite quote. I think in the last, 100, 200, 300 videos here in the Day One Journey, every time I mention a quote, I say, well, it's one of my favorites. Well, I have a lot of quotes that I like, and I put them all together. I have even created an app that I only use, and I record myself saying the quotes in the app, and then I played back to myself listening to these quotes, usually translating to Italian as well. Originally they are from English, and also sometimes I write the translation in Hebrew and listen to it at the same time. And this is how I managed to remember so many quotes by heart. And every time I think about a quote that I like, I share it here in the Day One Journey. Then I always say, this is one of my favorite quotes. Well, I guess if it wasn't, I wouldn't be able to recall it. I wouldn't actually remember it. So I have a lot of favorite quotes, and I just had a conversation with a friend, and they asked me, what's your favorite? And I guess I'll list you some of the quotes that I like. And I'm not using any app or Google or whatever, just what comes in my mind. Well, right now I have two in my mind. One is of Jim Rohn's. If you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they planned for you? Not much. I like this quote so much because it's surprising. And what did they plan for you? Not much. Well, I like it because it's so true, at least in my opinion, of course. It's so true, and it's sort of surprising and funny, So it gets people to actually listen and sort of get it, Because if you don't design your own life plan, it's a failure, You'll just be part of someone else's plan. And what they planned for you, well, they didn't plan it for you. They planned for themselves. This is one of them. Definitely one of my favorites. Is it the most favorite? I don't know. This is one thing. Another thing is probably the first quote that struck a chord with me. And I read it, I think I was 17. I was reading I was on a website that had information about bodybuilding. And then I just started working out, and I was reading and consuming a lot. 17, this is 20 years ago, 19 years ago. I was there, I read the quote. It went something like this. Motivation, like bathing, doesn't last. That's why we recommend it daily. I think Vince Lombardi said this quote. I think was a very famous coach. I think American football, not sure about that. But I like it so much, this analogy between motivation and bathing. Like, motivation like bathing. What this has to do with it, Also a bit surprising, like the quote before. Motivation, like bathing, doesn't last. That's why we recommend it daily. And yes, some things need to be done every single day. And motivation is there. This is not something that you get once in a while. You work on it every day. The consistency, the work, the effort, you need to actually work for it. I'm pushing myself to think about another quote, not just a quote, but something I really like. Well, there's this one. Learn the rules like a pro so you can break them like an artist. This is Pablo Picasso. And this is sometimes the connection I see between the discipline and the art, between the engineering and yes, the art or the improvisation, or there's still rules and specific disciplines that we need to master in order to enjoy the freedom and the smoothness of things. For example, like if we want to learn, if we want to enjoy sliding on the ice, for example, we still need to master the basics. After that, we can sort of break the rules, but we need to master the rules before we start breaking them. Yeah, there's another concept that I read. I don't remember his name, but the process of isolation, integration, improvisation. I like that. Because first you isolate. First you need to master the basics. On their own, just isolate. Then you integrate. And only then you improvise. You don't just go there and improvise. Yeah, it just remind me of a story. I was 14 years ago, started after 1 year or so that I started dancing salsa. I was in the club. It was pretty late. I was dancing, but I was struggling. I was trying to think about many salsa combinations. And one guy just told me after the dance, like something, yeah, I'll give you a tip here. Yeah, tip. What was the tip? Don't think too much. Just let go, improvise, let go. Just I'm telling you, one of the worst advice I ever got. Why? Because I believe in this quote. I need to learn the rules like a pro. I need to actually master these steps. Isolation. Then I need to do the integration. And only then I improvise. I got pretty frustrated when I'm not sure about frustration, but if this is the right word, but you don't just let go and things just happen magically. You need to work. But yes, after you work, after you master the skills, then you can let go and things can fall into place. But it's both. It's mastering the rules, mastering the basics, and then only breaking the rules. Okay, one last quote. Sure, one of my favorites. Very strong, very to the point. I remember just the ending. Wait just a second. Oh, knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Definitely one of my favorites, and it might be number one. And why is that? I think it summarized a big part of my philosophy. I think we sometimes can get caught up in the thinking of we want to control other people, yeah? We want to influence other people. Or we want to understand other people. Well, that's good, yeah. Mastering others is strength. Knowing others is intelligence. But doing the work on myself, I see that as the most valuable. Knowing myself. Knowing myself is true wisdom. And the step above that, I like to say, my own quote is, know yourself so you can be yourself, so you can be true to yourself. So on that note, knowing myself is true wisdom. Mastering myself, this is the next level. This is true power. I think it's so. I have more quotes right down in my head, just floating around, going to be blurred out. But I will start with this quote because it's so strong for me. Knowing yourself, knowing others is intelligence. Knowing yourself is true wisdom. Mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.